Hi, my name's Kareem. I have recorded 4 short online lessons that are full of experiments, and the aim is to make you feel differently about your brain. That's a big claim. We're going to work as quickly as possible. We're going to start to get into these experiments straight away. Well, what are these experiments? Well, if you use them right, they're going to change what you realize is going on inside of your brain. Your brain is the most complex thing in the known universe. I know it doesn't feel like that right now, but that's what we're going to start to harness. I'm going to show you a system that if you use it, means you never need to revise ever again. I know that sounds insane. Your teachers are kind of like red flag, stop talking. But what I'm going to do is illustrate when we forget. For instance, normally as humans, we remember around 7 things. I'm going to show you a system that if you use it, well, you'll be able to remember 35 or more in less than 2 minutes. I'm going to help you learn a language in 90 seconds. And all based on you as a human, not you as a student, not you as a worker, but you as a human being. So let's begin. Show me your hands. Good. Or something, literally show me your hands. Get them out. Be active. Even if you're in the middle of somewhere strange, show me. See, half of the dynamic here is just being in the moment. So these experiments are going to rely on you. I'm going to say, I'll shout something out, in which case shout it out. Get involved. You've been passive, understandably. We all have in this lockdown for so long. So what we're going to do is get active, but in a way active around what our brains are capable of doing. So we're going to use our hands to try and understand things. All right, so quick introduction. My name is Kareem. So I put my name up there so you can see. It's an Arabic name. My dad's from Iraq. My mum's from England. I get a lot of funny names. People call you Alan. I get a few Collins occasionally if I'm really lucky, a Camel. And put my name up because it sounds a little bit strange. But what if I showed you this? And you remember my name is? Yeah, of course. And part of that is a completely rubbish joke. But actually what is in the center of it is something that's important. How do you process information? What if I said to you, loaf of bread? None of you is thinking, oh, how do you spell it? What you do instead is you see it, or you taste it, or you smell it, but you don't think about the word. And now you look at your whole lives in school and work, and the whole thing is founded around words, which is great. I love reading. I'm not here to say don't read, but that's not really how you process information. Think about any dream you've ever had. It's weird stuff in crazy places. So we're going to look at the value of understanding ourselves as humans. You guys ready? Okay, let's start with the memory experiment. All right. So in a moment, I'm going to show you some images. I want you to stare at them. There's nothing weird, nothing disgusting. I'm going to show you these images, 25 images in 25 seconds. And all you need to do is stare. Nothing weird, nothing disgusting, just stare. You guys ready? And at the end of this workshop, I'm going to say, how many do you remember? But for now, just stare. You ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Incredible. Just forget about them. We'll talk about them in a moment. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about the brain. Take your hands and put them in front of you like this. Yeah, literally, do it. In front of you like this. Good. Take those hands, put them into fists. Awesome. Now put the fists together. Great. Now look down. Okay, that's about the size of your human brain, about 1.5 kilos of water, fat, electricity. Obviously, don't worry if you're sitting next to someone and you're like, yours is massive. It's just, their hands. But what it does is it shows us something about our brain. And in the brain, there are also 2 hemispheres. Now, here's something important. In the old days, people used to say things like, oh, you seem like a left brain person. You seem like a right brain person. If you hear anybody speak like that, walk away. It makes no sense. But what we do see is areas that we like to process. So for instance, let's say you were making lists, or you were being logical, or working with lines or words or numbers or order. In that moment, if we could look inside of your brain, we'd see a little bit more activity working in the left hemisphere. If you're being rhythmical, if you're thinking about space, this is a little bit weird because you're always thinking about space. I just mean, so for instance, go back to any memory from your whole lives now. It's in a space. Do you remember the time you're over there? Yeah. Do you remember the time you're over there? Yeah. Do you remember the time you're just randomly floating through the air? No, not really. Everything you do links into place to the point where if you can't remember where you were, the memory finds it hard to emerge. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and access as many of these areas as possible. Daydreaming, color, imagination, the overview we have as humans. But isn't it weird that the right brain ends up feeling a little bit like out of school and the left brain feels a little bit like in school? And that doesn't make any sense because we take our brains everywhere we go. The aim here is to say, how can we use more rather than less? Quick game. Okay, so in a moment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get your hands ready. Okay, cool. So I'm going to clap a rhythm. All I want you to do is to listen and then copy. Okay, start simple. Start with. Good. Yeah, no, do it, even if it's kind of weird where you are. Okay, try this one. Yeah, good. Try this one. Nice. Good, good. Kind of there. While you were doing that, there was more electricity in your right hemisphere using rhythm. Okay, now try this. I'm going to ask you guys some questions. Answer me as soon as you get it in your head. Here we go. 2 plus 2 is? All right. So 4 times 4 is? Yeah, close. Capital of France is? Okay, so when you answered those questions, there was a little bit more electricity in the left hemisphere. But even that, at its most simple level, isn't even true. Because when some of you said Paris, it's not a word on a list, is it? Look on the other side. It was in color. It was in a place. It was a space in your head. It was a memory that involved location. It had a feeling. See, even at the most simple questions, there's cross-pollination happening all the time. So anyone that says to you, oh, you seem like your left brain, it's just not true. But what we know is the more of this brain we can use, the quicker we think, the faster we learn, the more we can remember. Now, inside of this incredible brain are neurons. You've got about 100 billion neurons inside of your head. And what happens when they move is that they create little pathways. Okay, so let's say, whether you know you're thinking or not, when you think, a neuron moves. And when it moves, it makes a little pathway. So the next time it goes, it can go quicker because there's a pathway. Let's say it snows. And the first time you clear a path, and yeah, that takes a while, that's learning. Clearing a path takes a while, that's learning. But then when you walk down it, that's remembering. It's simple, unless it snows. And that's when memories get lost. You're like, I knew, it snowed, I've got no idea. I'm going to show you when it snows in our brain so that you can hold on to things forever. Okay, let's play around. I'm going to try and teach you guys a new language. I'm going to connect this to learning. You guys doing great so far. Okay, any of you guys speak any Arabic? All right. So I'm going to teach you guys a little bit of Arabic. So if you can already speak some Arabic, I hope my accent's okay. Let's go. I'm going to teach you guys to count from 1 to 10. And I'm going to do it in, check your watches. Let's try and do it in less than 2.5 minutes. Now for this to be able to work, I'm going to say the numbers. You're never going to have heard them before. Just literally say them back wherever you are, whatever your location is. You're like, but Mum will think I'm silly. I don't care. So you're going to say them back. Then I'm going to show them on the screen. You'll hear my voice, repeat after me, but read them now as well. And then finally, we use our bodies to understand them. And that's it. You guys ready? Okay, here we go. Good luck. Repeat after me, please. 1 in Arabic is wahid. 2 is thiniyan. Good. 3 is thalatha. 4 is arba'a. 5 is, here's a good one, 5 is khamse. 6 is seta. 7 is seba'a. 8 is thamania. 9 is tis'a. And 10 is ashra. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to go in through the eyes. Okay, here they are on the screen. What I want you guys to do is repeat after me. Here we go. 1 is wahid. 2 is thiniyan. 3 is thalatha. 4 is arba'a. 5 is khamse. 6 is seta. 7 is seba'a. 8 is thamania. 9 is tis'a. And 10 is ashra. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use our bodies. So, okay, show me your hands. You're going to need them. All right, I'm going to tell a small story about 1 to 10. Here we go. In the beginning of the story, there's a man. There's a weird man. There's a jealous man. This man's got a very strange shaped face. In fact, what he has is a very wide head. Do that action and repeat after me. He's got a very wide head. Now, why am I doing this? Part of it is because Whitehead sounds a little bit like Whitehead. Now, why is this man jealous? Because some other men are talking to his wife. One of these guys is as skinny as a finger, and his name is Thin Ian. Thin Ian. Show me and say. Good, use your hands. Trust me, I know you don't know me yet, but trust me, it's your hands more than anything that will trigger the memory. Thin Ian, good. Another guy talking to his wife. This guy's massive. He's a giant. His name is Tall Arthur. Show me Tall Arthur. Say it together. Tall Arthur. Good. So she's like, why are they in love with this woman? Well, she's beautiful. She's an older lady. She's got her hair in curlers, and her name is Barbara. Show me Barbara, please. Good. You look like beautiful Barbaras. So look. I'm not in love with any of you guys. I'm in love with this other guy, but you got to come over my house so we can talk about what's going on. I want you just to use your hands to beckon and repeat after me. I'd like you to come, sirs. Good. Say that, please. I'd like you to. I know. Come, sirs. Very good. Halfway through, she's like, I'm in love with this other guy. He's got a beautiful dog. It's a red setter. Show me the setter. Good. His name's Sebastian. It's a long name. She gets confused halfway through. Scratch your chin, looking confused. His name is Seb. Say that, please. Lovely tone, but who cares about names because she's in love. She's crazy in love. She's so in love, it's given her the mania. Twist your fingers and say it. The mania. Good. This guy struggles with allergies and hay fever. He sneezes everywhere. So altogether, that is tis-ah. Yeah, you can have some. Tis-ah. Good. Obviously not great to sneeze in front of everyone in a pandemic, but do what you can. And then finally, this guy worships the Egyptian god of cigars, and that is Ash-Ra. Say it and do it. Ash-Ra. Good. All right, one recap. Trust me. Say it, look, and use your hands all together. You guys ready? Here we go. In the beginning of the story, show me there's a guy with a very wide head. Good. Now, two guys talking to his wife. One guy's skinny. His name, show me, Thin Ian. Another guy's a giant. Show me. Tall Arthur. Good. Now, why are they talking to her? Because she's hot. She's an older lady. Her name? Barbara. Come over to my house. I want you to come, sirs. He's got a dog. What is it? Red setter. Excellent. His name's Sebastian, but she's like, keep showing me. Crazy in love means you've got the mania. Hay fever everywhere is Tis-ah. And Egyptian cigars is Ash-Ra. Good. Now, without any prompts at all. You guys ready? Here we go. So trust me, it's the hands more than anything that trigger the memory. You ready? Here we go. Right, hands up, all together. Show me. 1 in Arabic is good. Show me 2. Good. Keep showing me. 3. Good. Keep using your body. 4. Good. So which means 5 is? Excellent. Which means 6 is? Yep. Which means what's 7? Perfect. 8. Good. 9. Excellent. And 10. Incredible. Now, the reason you've been able to do that is accelerated learning. Think about how a baby learns. If I give a baby something, what's the first thing it does with it? In its mouth. Babies learn quickly because they don't care about making mistakes, do they? Babies like, look, I pooed myself, so what? Babies don't care about making mistakes, but they also use their senses. And that's all you're doing here. You're saying, I don't care how this looks, and I'm using my senses. You are a human first and a student second. So use your senses. It's what you've evolved to do. So use your senses when you're working, but this is when it gets depressing. Have a look at this. If I said to you guys, okay, surprise, exam. Exam in an hour, you think, I really do hate this guy. But maybe you know what you do with a few minutes left? You'd go and read. But unfortunately, of all the ways that we can remember anything, reading is one of our least favorite, 20% at best, but it gets better. We remember 30% of the things that we hear. We remember 40% of the things that we see, 50% of the things that we say, 60% of everything we do, and you and I can get that to go up towards 90% if we cross over our senses. So my question to you and to all of us is, what are we doing? What we're doing is we are caught in kind of habitual thinking and institutionalized behavior. Year 11s across the UK, we end up thinking that revising at best looks like reading, and it doesn't. What this experiment shows us is that the crazy kid who's breakdancing Arabic has got a 3 times better chance of remembering than the great student that was reading. So my question is, what are we doing? You've done amazingly. I'm going to see you in the second online lesson very shortly. My name's Kareem. I'll speak to you soon.